There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Monday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, real holiday, or, well, kind of a real anyway, it's a holiday every day here. Thank you for joining me as we get ready. I'll get ready and comfortable for our sports betting day. We've got a light show. Whoa, we got a light show here, to say the least, today with our NBA and NHL playoff action. We've got 3 games tonight to look at, including a pair of first game ones, if you will, in the NBA conference semifinals today, and we'll get going in the NHL as well here with our first game of the an Eastern Conference battle as well. Thank you for joining me here after a wild and turvy weekend of sports action here, including the games from yesterday. How'd you guys? I'm about ready to throw my sheet in the garbage here after yesterday, and man, hopefully I'll get back on track here this week after a rugged Sunday for me. Hello to everyone joining me here on the Morning Steam in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. I think we can keep this one pretty short for sure today, but how about last night with our Game 7 roundup here of the Western Conference battle between Golden State and Houston? The Warriors buried the Rockets on the road to advance. The Rockets just weren't ready. They didn't have the experience. They weren't ready to advance and graduate to the next stage or phase of their build there in Houston. It was the experience of the Golden State Warriors and a surprising star, Buddy Hield, with a huge game. Who saw that coming? 30 points from Buddy. The Warriors hit 19 three-pointers. Steph Curry, 22. Jimmy Butler, 20 points. Rockets only 40% from the floor. That's a choke job, and the Golden State Warriors advance in the Western Conference playoffs, and a great job there by Steve Kerr also, and everybody, all the Warriors fans. Nobody likes Steve Kerr. Maybe it's his political positions, but anyway, for the Warriors, they advance to the next round, and great performance there, certainly. Houston back to the drawing board. Are they missing a piece still? What can the Rockets do to maybe advance in the future? Because they were not ready for that one. So it will be Minnesota and Golden State. Funny thing about the NBA playoffs, right? They don't reseed them. And then so you end up here with the number 1 seed taking on the number 4 seed, of course, with Oklahoma City and Denver. But over in the other bracket, you have the number 6 seed taking on the number 7 seed with Minnesota and Golden State. And the way the NBA playoffs are formatted, you would think a reseeding would be a better solution. That way, Oklahoma City could take on Golden State, a lower seeded team there maybe, and Minnesota maybe could play Denver, but that's not the way it works. It's bracketed. So Minnesota and Golden State, a 6 or a 7 seed, will advance to the conference finals. When that series gets underway, we will see tonight Denver and OKC, Knicks and Boston. The Knicks were 0-4 against Boston in the regular season, and with Denver and OKC, the Thunder coming in off a week's rest, while Denver just had to play a grueling 7-game series and finish that one up just 2 days ago. So we'll talk about the games tonight. Also, Cleveland, Indiana, game number 1 yesterday, and it was won by the Indiana Pacers. Can Cleveland find a solution? The Pacers, with that blistering early start, they hit 19 three-pointers as Halliburton and Nemhard combined for 45 points. Donovan Mitchell was terrific, but didn't get a lot of help, it felt like, and the Pacers felt like they were pretty much in control all the way. So, where's the wrong team favorite? Is the wrong team favorite in the series with Cleveland and Indiana, and a terrific performance there by the Pacers? And hats off to some of you that had, well, who was on the Pacers yesterday? Not I. I didn't see that one uh, coming there, but now looking back on it, man, the Pacers really do have a pretty equal feel right now, especially after winning game number 1. All right, let's say hello to the folks in the chat joining me here today. Let's see who is here. Oh my God, it's Truth Teller here today. Hello, Truth. I'm so glad Truth Teller's here. I get worried when I don't hear from Truth Teller in a while. Hello, Truth. Nuke is here as well. Hey, everyone. Like this video, subscribe to our channel here, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Also here today, let's see here, Nuke talking Jets puck line, talking a little UFL. Hey, I was able to find one winner there on the card yesterday in the UFL with the under on the show here with San Antonio and Birmingham. All right, I'll take one win there. Robert McCormick is here today. There's the truth. He's the truth teller, and I'm the truth seller, but not yesterday. And that might be, let's see who else. Cash Kane is here today. He's ready to roll. And let's see here. Anyone else? Okay, just my few regulars. A sub is here today. We definitely have some soccer action today with our Monday night fixtures, including Forest taking on Crystal Palace, Milan taking on Genoa, Mallorca, and Girona. We've got Monday night football from across the pond tonight. All right, damn. Let's see what else was going on here. Of course, it was in the NHL last night. Let's talk about that as well with that big game number 7, and what a game it was with the Winnipeg Jets defeating the St. Louis Blues in one of the longest game 7s in NHL history. Think that maybe it was long. We know it went to double overtime, but you'd think that maybe there were plenty more games longer. I guess game 7, they don't all go to double overtime. There've been a few longer, but still one of the longest games in NHL history. Maybe we're just getting used to some of those long overtime games where the Jets rallied from that 3-1 deficit with 2 goals in the final 2 minutes, including that extra attacker to force overtime with that late goal. Then Lowry gets the deflection in the second. You would play all that hockey, then you get this goal. But hey, that's how it works. And the Blues, Jordan Binnington, 43 saves to in the game there in that losing effort. He was pretty good. The Blues had to come back from a 2-0 deficit to force game 7, but it is Winnipeg to advance in the NHL playoffs here, and Winnipeg will move on, of course, to take on the Dallas Stars. So we know our 8 teams here as we get ready for the second round to begin tonight with Toronto and Florida. Will be the battle of those high-scoring front lines. Matthews, Nylander, Marner for Toronto, and of course we've got, well, let's just say it, hot goalies with Bobrovsky and Stolars here today. All right, a little bit of breaking news right now that just came across the high-speed sports wire. Michigan coach Sharon Moore has been suspended. Self-imposed suspension, I do believe, is what they're saying here, for 2 games for the Stallions advanced scouting scandal that took place last season. So during the games that Michigan will play Central Michigan and Nebraska, Sharon Moore will be banned from any team related duties during those weeks, and Moore will also receive additional recruiting related penalties. The NCAA could still further punish Moore in addition to those self imposed school penalties, and a final resolution will be expected before the start of the season. But Michigan self imposes a suspension on their head coach, Sharon Moore. That just came in on the high speed sports wire. All right, and I see a little bit talking about Formula One yesterday and a little bit of racing action in our golf as well. How about Scotty Scheffler, first win of the year, takes the Byron Nelson just 31 under par as he ties a record for the lowest score for a 4-day tourney. Scheffler, 8 birdies and an eagle yesterday, had 29 birdies and 3 eagles. Here sounds like a round of golf with Donald Trump. There is Scotty Scheffler gets the win, and did see the passing of legendary. I'll say it because he was a pioneer. Jim Dent passed away at the age of 85, former PGA star and senior PGA star tour as well. Played 16 years on the PGA Tour, and he won 12 senior events. Jim Dent, underrated as a top golfer, and maybe the best black golfer of the era. He wasn't Tiger, and after a while, but you have to figure with the I don't know. To me, you'd have to think Tiger, uh, Calvin Pete, and maybe Jim Dent. Pete and Dent, pretty good golfers, certainly. Also, you guys mentioned in the chat there, Formula One Grand Prix of Miami, Oscar Piastris Piastri with the win. Hey, I touted Piastri when we were on the show there on Saturday night as my pick to win. He wins his 3rd straight race. He built a 12-second lead and coasted to the win. Norris and Verstappen, that great battle for second place there mid-race, but they couldn't catch Piastri, who won for the 3rd straight week. And something's wrong there with Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton there. Also, this past weekend, it was in NASCAR. Joey Logano with the win. He got those late restarts and he held off Chastain for the win there. A wild race with a bunch of cautions as well. And also, Alabama Grand Prix. Alex Palou wins again. 3rd win in 4 starts yesterday. Some good racing on a day with not a lot of sports here. All right, anyone else coming in here? And we'll get ready for our show. And let's see here. There's Fernando in the chat as well. And Nine Legacy here today. I think he's got his plays. Oh no, that had to be yesterday. His picks there, it looks like. And that might be it from you guys. All right, let me do a little quick commercial. We'll recap the baseball a little bit. And you can get my top plays every day over at winnable.com/Ramon. I've got some premium pick packages I'll send out today in baseball and a few other plays. It's going to be a little bit light for sure. Light day for sure here on Monday, but we'll find some sports action to get involved with, including maybe some of that Monday night soccer for sure. I'm going to be a little bit hungry for some action after yesterday, so might go all the way with some picks in soccer today with those Monday night fixtures, and get involved with me for the entire week or maybe even the entire month here of May with our great playoff action. I'm regrouping. So I'm going to bring some winners your way over at winnable.com. It's just 56 cents a day, and this is how you support me here on the channel. Coming here every day to do my show with you guys. We are viewer supported, and my deal with the boys here is to come over and do a show as long as I can ask people to join me over at winnable.com. You get a nice stream of plays every day. You get a couple of updates from me with my favorite games of the day and some free updates as well. You don't have to uh, be behind the paywall with me. You can get some free plays in some other sports as well over at winnable.com. Uh, we had some action last night. I guess I can say it like that with a couple of games we did have yesterday, but I don't think it quite went my way with my KBO picks. So we'll get fired up and ready to go here this week. All right, appreciate that. Let's take a look at some of the action here in the major leagues from Sunday and see if I could find any winners that I had here. And just get situated here with the graphics. There we go. All right. I found my way back. So take a look at some of the scores for Major League Baseball here on a Monday with the light card. So just kind of getting started and get everyone in here to preview the games. All right, we did have some winners yesterday, premium pick winners, as a matter of fact, in the Mets and Cardinals in game one. We did have the under. How about it yesterday with that doubleheader sweep? That's what we can say for sure. There yesterday, the Mets had owned the Cardinals with 9 straight wins, but not yesterday. It was the Cardinals doubleheader sweep yesterday. Contreras had the 3 RBIs of that big, I think, the double there in game one, and then Alex Burleson had the 2-run homer there in the nightcap as the Cardinals swept over the Bucks. I did have a premium pick winner with my San Diego Padres Pittsburgh game to go under was my premium pick, and we did have the Padres here on the show yesterday as they swept the Pirates in a total mismatch this weekend. Couldn't beat the Rays, but they swept the Pirates there yesterday. I had a winner here on the show with Kansas City over Baltimore yesterday as the Royals hit 7 home runs off Baltimore pitching there. And man, the Royals went off with those home runs, a near record setting performance there yesterday. I think there was some type of record set in that game between Kansas City and Baltimore with those big home runs yesterday. For sure. We had a winner here on the show with the Athletics yesterday over the Marlins, beating the Marlins with Ursula with that 2-run double. The A's are 19-16 right now, doing a pretty good job. We had the Cubs and Miami game to go under here on the show. That's where Team Steam had the L yesterday. There are a couple of them, actually. We had Boston as a loser yesterday to Team Steam. Also, the Cubs as well. But, hey, I did have the under there with the Cubs and Miami or Cubs in Milwaukee, I should say. Yesterday as the Brewers were able to cool off those Cubs a little bit. Also, I had a winner here on the show with the San Francisco Giants yesterday over the Rockies. Adames, 2 solo home runs there on Marquez. He might be, I'd designate him for assignment probably at this point. Detroit and Angels, we did have a premium pick winner there on the over in that game with Detroit and the Angels. But after that, I couldn't find many winners in Major League Baseball, so I better pick some today. I might be chalky today here. All right. And, like I said about the hockey action there yesterday, St. Louis and Winnipeg with that great win. But I just want to mention that Team Steam Consensus did have the Winnipeg Jets yesterday over St. Louis for a win. Let me give credit where credit is due. I had them with you guys as well as when we mentioned the game story, but forgot to mention you guys had the Winnipeg Jets. All right. A few more strolling in, and let's get started with our show today. And let's see what Andrew said. How about Bo Nickel there? He lost on Saturday, and hey, I had Rainer DeRitter on that show there. I know that I was talking last week that everybody's kind of questioning my line of questioning when it came to Bo Nickel. A lot of people were running there to Bo Nickel, of course, with his how they've been promoting him in the UFC, but obviously took one shot to the gut or upper chest there, and Bo Nickel isn't all that. So All right, and let's see here. We've got Gorky here. I saw the guys last night. I was watching the show there for a little while with their Sunday night baseball coverage, and Gorky doing a great job with the boys over there uh, on their Sunday night baseball show. And I was able to stop in and say hi to those guys. Great job, Gorky and the crew over there. And they were they were they were previewing the basketball game and said, "Who are the referees for the game?" And I said, "Well, you got Tony Brothers, and I was out with him the night before doing a little karaoke, if you know what I mean." Nasty Nate says Celtics trifecta tonight. He also likes the Celtics in the second quarter, and he likes White and Tatum over in their threes for a parlay. And why not? I mean, Tatum absolutely goes wild when he plays the Knicks, it seems like. But where's my KP? Because I like KP over there in that one with his points and assists for sure. I'm going to take my play. If Nate's going to go White and Tatum, man, are we going to have a high scoring game? I don't know if we are, but I like KP points and assists over 19.5 today. Just to get one play in there to kind of start the show. All right, and everyone's here and ready to go. Let's start with that game. Old E here today. Nasty Nate says he'll take KP for 2+3s here today. All right, yeah, KP, probably my favorite prop there, and I just gave it to you here on the show. So let's get started with that game. And game number one's here tonight with the Knicks and the Celtics. And, well, after yesterday's game, how could any team in the playoffs, it feels like, be favored by 9.5 here at this point, right? With the Knicks and the Celtics? Well, the Knicks might have their challenges here against the Celtics, especially after what I had mentioned there. The Celtics kind of dominated these guys, right, during the uh, regular season and maybe a little bit before that as we get started with our conference semifinals here. And look, it's still a great matchup whenever you're talking Knicks and Celtics, despite the fact that the Celtics are an overwhelming favorite here in the series as well as tonight's game. The series price for this matchup is Boston minus 750. So, nobody wants to give the Knicks here too much credit in this game tonight here at Boston minus 9.5. Like I said, they've really done a great job against the Knicks. Boston's covered 6 of the last 8 meetings overall between these two. Boston comes in having won 7 straight games at home. Right now, New York's gone under in 10 of their last 15 games coming in. These teams, like I said, a 4-0 sweep for Boston. However, the Knicks did cover in the last meeting about a month ago, 119-117. Boston won on the road. They were a 2.5 point favorite in that one, and the totals were much higher than this, obviously, but we are in the playoffs here, so we have a pretty reasonable number here for the total, or I should say a lower number for the total, right at 212.5 in this one. Boston has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Boston. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams did go over. The game that went under was at Boston. The total was 231. That was on February 23rd. Boston won the game 118-105. Total on that day was 231, but this is a playoff total here. Obviously. So, New York still has won 5 of their last 7 games, of course, coming in after their series win over Detroit. They won 3 of the last 4 games of that series to move on here. And still, 9.5 against this Celtics team that, even in the best of times, it felt like that Boston weren't favored by 9.5. They were favored, like I said, by 7.5 in that 13-point win back in February, but that doesn't give the Knicks much credit here. And, it is Boston after all, and the favorites to win the title here at this point. So, especially after Cleveland clunked. Cleveland clunked yesterday for sure. Okay, chat, you're ready to go if you want, and bring me your picks here for the game between the Knicks and the Celtics. Let's go and see what you have in this one. I've got the chat ready to go here. It should be, it's going to be tough, no doubt, for those uh, guys in the Knicks backcourt with Brunson and Bridges, because certainly a tough matchup whenever you're going up against White and Holiday. There, I think for the Knicks, their key players got to be Josh Hart to look to step up here amongst these guys. Yes, you need Towns, but that's a tough matchup against KP. And for the Celtics, look, you can look up and down the line, but Knicks do have a decent defense against guys like, Tatum, because Anunoby can mix up with him certainly a little bit. And for Brown, look, no matter how you look at it, that's where the Knicks kind of excel defensively against players like Brown. And for me, I think Derek White is probably the key player here for the Boston Celtics today in this series, probably. So let's go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one. Thank you for joining me here on the show. Get to talk nice and slow today with our limited schedule. Here comes some of the picks. All right, and here's Nuke. He says the Celtics smacked them around in the regular season. And Gorky, maybe I wasn't the only one there. Maybe I wasn't the only one that was flustered by the results and went to bed, had a pizza and went to bed early to get ready for a great week. So I feel you guys in there a little bit. Okay, Fernando is on the Knicks team total under here in this one, 101.5. Is that, yeah, I guess that is about it. Jerry says it's just too big of a spread here. You got to give the Knicks some credit. Chosen One's feeling the same way here in this one. Damon Waring, good morning. Thank you. And yeah, Nine Legacy says every single time it's, Jason Tatum, he owns this series, and OG's going to have to do a better job. To me, it does feel like they should do a better job, against Tatum. I mean, they know what's coming, but again, for everyone who wants to hate on Tatum, he always comes through. It feels like a little bit. So, all right. Really appreciate that. And I think that might be it from you guys here. Let's see. Let's get a few more now. I think it's all good to go here. Boston to cover, though, says Trevor Davis here tonight. Look, it feels like to me, I mean, there's really not a great reason here. Nuke is on the Celtics. And look, I don't know if there is a great reason other than the Boston overall dominance of the Knicks. But these are we're down to the, I say 8 best teams, but, Knicks and Boston, you still got to give the Knicks, right? A lot of, great credit here for what they've done this season. They have a very good team. It's almost disrespectful to have a 10-point spread in a basketball game. It almost seems like, why do we even play these games, right? If we're not going to give these teams any credit here. So, yes, I have to maybe consider the Knicks here, but I'm going to take the under as my play here on the Morning Steam show. I've got to go under with these two here. The Knicks better do a better job here tonight. And let's see, Nate says, well, Nate, that seems like a weird commercial, right? If there are commercials, because that almost bothers me in a way because the Knicks are not in a choking position. They're the underdogs, right? Boston will cover, says Chill Will. And what was the when I see Chill Will, who was the performer? He was a guy in a band, right? With Chill Chills. What was his name? Chill Will. You probably know because your name is a spinoff. Um, Gosh, was he in the? He wasn't in the Chili Pepper. I'm trying to think. I almost want to Google it right now or grok it right now. I'm trying. Maybe Chill Will knows who was that performer. Chill was his name. Chills Will Chills. The He was in a band, right? Famous band, but I'm usually pretty good about these, trivia things. But maybe I'm just getting old. All right, I'm giving you guys another chance, but I think that's it. And I don't think we can conclude any consensus here. I'm going to try to do a better job. And you guys, Abel was here yesterday helping me out, but all right. I think that'll do it here for this one with the Knicks and the Celtics. And I'm going to take the under as my play here, but I'll probably be rolling a little bit with the game spread. All right, here we go. Got another 9.5 point spread. Is this a conference semifinal game? And we just got 10 point spreads. Like we're gonna blow a team. Do you guys think double digits? That's a blowout, right? We're gonna get a blowout here between OKC and Denver here today. Well, look, you do have the Thunder, like I said, with a week off. They're the favored team here in the Western Conference. The series price here is Oklahoma City minus 640 over Denver. Hey, that's fair, right? I mean, Denver has been not the usual Denver, it feels like here at this point, but they've gotten this far. They have the championship pedigree a little bit. Oklahoma City is an unproven, untested young team here with a winning streak, no doubt, after the series victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. Remember way back when they swept Memphis 4-0 to go here. And meanwhile, Denver did just go through a grueling 7-game series that just ended on Saturday. Against the Clippers. Oh, maybe it wasn't grueling. I don't know, but it did take all they had to go 7 against those Clippers. So no matter how you look at it, the Thunder come in here well rested in this series. So let's go to some of the numbers here, and you guys can get ready in this one. Denver's covered 5 of the last 6 meetings here against Oklahoma City coming into this one, but look again. I'm of the thought that you don't think that teams should blow out. I am going to factor in the fact that Denver, just played 2 nights ago. Now they got to go on the road against this Thunder team that, yes, they are great. They, haven't really achieved this kind of success yet, but may just take a game for Denver to settle in, or I don't know. They're going to be up against it all this way. If you look at the schedule this week of these games, right, this has the most concerning situation for a team like Denver here. Look at the schedule of this game. So they just played 7 games. Thunder had a week off. Denver played on Saturday after the 7-game series against Clippers. Game 1 is tonight. Game 2 is on Wednesday. Game 3 is on Friday. I mean, these 2 teams are playing it's every other day at this point. So there's no resting here, unless some team sweeps and you rest for the next round. But this should be a pretty good series. So the next 6 games are played every other day here right now. Now, once they get going, the Thunder will be in kind of the same position against Denver, that playing every other game, but at least for the first game or 2 here, and maybe that's all you need. Now, certainly would be good to win one on the road for either of the teams, right? That's how you wrestle away the home court advantage. But Denver's going to start with a little bit of handicap, if you will, because of the fact that they had to play those other games. And the Thunder, of course, are favored by 9.5, and the total 225.5. Considerably higher spread here, of course. But like I said, Denver's covered 5 of the last 6 trips here into Oklahoma City. Thunder have won 8 in a row coming in. They're 16-4 against the spread in their last 20 games overall. Denver mentioned covering the spread against Oklahoma City. They're only 2-5 straight up in their last 7 trips in here, but they're started to become a dog over the last couple of years here against this improved Oklahoma City team. The teams did meet last time back in March, and Denver won here in OKC, 140-127, as a, get this, 9.5 point dog. Denver also won a matchup at home this season, 124-122 back in November. In that one, they were actually a 7 point dog in that one. So Oklahoma City did win at home, 127-103 back in March. 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under here, and OKC's gone under in 4 of their last 5. Denver's gone over in 6 of their last 9 games on the road. Let's see how you guys see this one between Denver and OKC here today. Okay. Nate had a teaser back in that other game with the Celtics and over. Here we go with Thunder here in this one for chosen one. And Jerry said, this one he thinks Nuggets are going to be a little bit flat here after having to go 7 games. 9 Legacy though says, the Nuggets probably have a better chance to cover than the Knicks do. And Nuke says it's hard to, and I think the only thing there for Nuke, what he's saying there, I think he said, is like everybody, right? We've not seen the Thunder. It does feel like the up and coming team against a team that I don't want to say Denver's ever fading, right? Because they do have the X factor in Nikola Jokic for sure. So, thanks, so chill. He's got it. Oh, he was an actor and he played in a little band, right? Okay, I got it. Okay, yeah, so I think that one. I don't know. I was just thinking of that right now. And hello to Gary in the chat. He'll be here every day. Thanks, Gary. Need you here. He said, "Let's go." Let's go abs here. Yeah, we've got all of our, I think, what's he saying? Oh, abs and under. Yeah, kill abs and under. Kill them there in the games against Dallas there. So, all right. Yeah, things are a little bit, I think that was for me the key series. We were on the air Saturday night. I was like, oh man, it's really looking good. I like, Colorado's kind of the team that I need to roll against Dallas. And was that when they were up 3-1 in the game or whatever, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 I lost, and my hockey season was pretty much over. It felt like there a little bit. Okay, hey, not much from you guys in this one, so I'll have to make my call. And I'm going to try the Thunder here. I don't want to lay many games with 9.5 points anymore right now, especially after what I saw yesterday. And I tried to pick on the Pacers a little bit, thinking that the Cavs would be the team, but boy, the Pacers match up well with the Cavs, don't they? Funny because I was on the show and I'm like, Pascal Siakam, is a kind of an X factor in there to kind of mix it up with guys like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and I kind of went against what I was saying. It felt like a little bit, so I don't know if I'll be doing that too often. If they start to keep these spreads like they are, like I said, both these are 9.5, but still Oklahoma City, this is the big time rest advantage. It feels like, if anything, this handicap is on the rest advantage. I'm taking OKC here to get a double digit win over Denver. I'm a little bit nervous now moving forward with some of those big spreads after we saw last night. Like I said, we're down to the final, 8 teams here, and with some of these matchups, right, in the conferences, you got the best 4 teams. I won't say the best 4 overall, but that's who's left anyway. Might be the best 4 overall, but uh, should teams really be favored at this point by 10 when everything's on the line for these teams moving forward? And you have, certainly good quality teams all the way through. No one is sliding, certainly at this point. Is Minnesota in the West a 6 seed? Doesn't feel like it. It feels like Minnesota, they should have been. They were the better team against the Lakers, right? And remember the West was kind of all goofy there with all those teams kind of together, and I don't know if you can really separate them that much after, especially when we saw the way Minnesota dumped the Lakers there in 5 games, and Golden State certainly a good 7 seed there to knock off Houston. Everybody said, "Oh, they're better than a 7 seed now, especially with Butler." So these are all good teams, man. How could any team really be favored by double digits or close to double digits against one another here? Yes, it's the NBA. A team could win by 30, but it doesn't feel like they will with the quality of teams left. Uh, if they were equal rest here, I would have to take 9. No, it might not be 9.5, but I'm going to take OKC in this one anyway. But I don't know if I'm interested anymore in laying any more big points. I've learned my lesson here in the playoffs, I think. I'm not one to just take one result like yesterday's Cleveland Indiana game and broad brush it with all these teams. But in this one tonight, I'll take one more game where I'm going to lay it here, just because of that fatigue factor a little bit. And the Thunder is obviously going to be a ruckus situation there in that last game, in this first game. All right. I guess that's it for the action in the NBA. Man, no one wants to touch this game at all from the chat all stars, and I get it. No problem. Okay, let's go to the hockey tonight. Flea Mathis, hello, good morning. And let's move along here now with the matchup in the Eastern Conference semifinals here now with the Florida Panthers on the road, favored against Toronto here. Yes, the defending champs. Okay, they are favored here in this one, but man, Toronto's done a great job, it feels like, right? They've kind of uh, uh, shunned, if you will, the fact that they sometimes don't always get through the playoff rounds here. Maybe expectations are always higher, or maybe their, you know, final standing has been higher here a little bit. But you got Anthony Stolarz doing a great job. The former Mighty Duck, my former Duck goalie, came to Toronto, and all of a sudden he's found himself as the man here for the Leafs. The Florida Panthers are favored here, and look, Toronto. Last I heard, they were the number 1 seed in the East, right? They earned that Atlantic, or number 1 seed in the Atlantic, not the East, we know, but uh, top seed in the Atlantic. It was Florida that finished in 3rd place here, and now all of a sudden you're telling me that the Florida Panthers are, 3rd place in the division, now favored on the road against Toronto. It looks like we're already, you know, blasting off Toronto. I get it. We've had plenty of disappointment. We've got our Canadian friends, Nuke, in there. We can talk about it, but it doesn't make much sense to me. Necessarily, that maybe banking on the fact that Florida is the defending champs and they look good. I mean, come on, I'd mention the scoring attack for the uh, Maple Leafs in the monologue, but don't forget these guys on Uh, Florida, pardon me, Florida here as well. I mean, come on, they've got terrific players in their lineup as well that we're well familiar with. Guys like Sam Reinhart, Alexander Barkov, Matt Kachuk, et al. They've got a great team over there in Florida. I mean, of course they do. They have the championship experience and pedigree here a little bit. So that maybe that's part of it too. But come on, Toronto, also with the good stars, as I mentioned, those high flying guys, right? With Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and such. So uh, I don't know if I can uh, go with a favorite here like this, but let's see how you guys have it. I'm probably gonna go with the total here in this one. We got a few comments in the chat coming in. It's Cash Kane. He does like the Panthers here, and Trevor says, "Come on, there's going to be a lot of offense here, and go over 5.5." I will, Trevor. I'm going to go with Trevor. I'm going to go over in this one. In fact, I'm going to go with an exact score line here. I'm going to go uh, I think 4-3. I think it's fair. I think could get 7 goals in this one here today. Let's see, Nuke, he be our expert here. I think in this one, he says Leafs going to play a real team tonight and get smacked around big time. Sounds like he likes Florida here, and Jerry Roberts on the Panthers as well. So okay, I'm not. You guys aren't feeling it with me here a little bit. And look, I mean, because I was kind of back in there, Florida last year. I know it wasn't on this channel, but any of my we've only been doing this morning steam thing about 4 years or so. So nasty date on the Panthers as well. Okay, I better go with the total because we're obviously here heavy Panthers here in this one. You guys aren't feeling what I'm saying here. Look, the Panthers are the favorites now, right? In the NHL playoffs here at this point, despite the fact they couldn't win their division. I know Dallas is up there too, Carolina, Edmonton. It's even. There's not really a favorite for the Stanley Cup, and I think that's what makes this Stanley Cup playoffs so exciting. We don't know who is going to. There's no clear-cut favorite, that's for sure. So give you another second or two to make a pick, go over a few maybe trends here with these two teams and give you a chance to chime in with your pick here. But I am going to go with the over here in this one. Now, I did end up with one futures bet between these two teams, and I don't know at the I placed it before the playoffs a little bit. I thought the odds were a little bit, because there was such a mix of teams there in the East. So I did end up with Florida for one unit, Florida Eastern Conference to win the Eastern Conference. But I'm, at this point, it might be just it's not a hedge or anything like that, but I kind of was feeling what you guys were. But again, now looking back on it, with Toronto, the home ice advantage. I'm not sure what I was thinking at that time. Maybe I was just wanted to have some long-term action through the playoffs. Toronto's won 9 of their last 10 games at home coming in. They're 9-2 in their last 11. Florida just 4-8 in their last 12 games on the road. And Cash Kane helping me out here. Thank you. Here, Trevor says he lives in Florida, but he thinks the Maple Leafs are going to win. Is it this game, Trevor, or the series too? There, Chill Will went with the Panthers. Look at Irish King. He's got the Panthers on the money line, and Cash Kane says Panthers are a consensus play. So I'll just go with the total here because, man, I want to give Toronto more respect. And I know the history here has a lot to do with this. Will says Panthers money line. Nuke says Leafs here, number one seed there in the division. Says that line speaks volumes. And hello to Ayo D here today. Thank you, Ayo D, getting over his Pistons loss a little bit. All right. Florida's gone over in 6 of their last 7 games coming in. Toronto's gone under in 11 of their last 16. 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone under there. And let's see here. Will says the Panthers did beat them 4 out of the last 5. Toronto did win at home 3-2 back on April the 2nd. Then 3 days later, or 6 days later, Florida won at home 3-1. These are all low scoring games, pretty much. 3 of the 4 did go under. And Nuke says all those wins came on the road. They're right. Remember, Florida was struggling on the road late in the regular season, but maybe they were complacent. Remember, it did feel like in that division, Toronto was kind of securing things a little bit, and so maybe that's why a little bit of a Panthers just kind of cruising into the playoffs. So Nasty Nate says line move here currently in the game as we see now, $1.19 or so as a little bit of a move here. He says on Toronto. I would imagine that maybe Nate, I don't know where he was betting it, but I do see a few books that were moving, including Bet Online, moving it down here now. A little bit of money maybe on Toronto here, but all right, I guess that might do it from you guys. Thank you, you guys, for chiming in. I'm going to take the over here in this one. Like I said, I did just kind of talk about certainly plenty of unders between the two teams a little bit, but man, it's hard to ignore the firepower these two teams have, right? And look, Stolars has been, at this point for Stolars, this is a career moment. He'd been solid, I guess, with the Ducks as their backup. That's the thing, right? I mean, it's always been kind of Gibby there, but Stolars, this is for him. Bob is kind of in a great spot too. But man, I just I'm having a hard time, kind of dealing with it as far as look, Florida's the champs. They're the champs. Okay, maybe that's what it should be. Florida's the champs. I get it. Those guys are great, but all right. Guess that's it in the hockey. Thank you, guys. We'll move to some baseball right now. We got a 10-game card, so we're not ready to just say it's a small card. It's a good card. Let's go to it. Get over to Major League Baseball right now, and they're all night games here tonight, starting at 6:40 Eastern, 3:40 Pacific, with the Dodgers coming in. Looks like a bit of a bullpen game here for sure for the Dodgers right now, and I'm sure the public's going to be all over the Dodgers here in this one. And look, it might be easy. Might be easy just to throw out the Dodgers run line as the play, but still going up against Sandy here, so you got to consider Sandy a little bit, even though we're not getting. I don't even want to sell Sandy short. I mean, it doesn't, oops, in fact, you guys are like, what are we talking about? No, you guys know. Let me put Alcantara's name in there, though. If, there we go. There we go. All right, let's get into it a little bit here with Sandy pitching. I mean, I guess you could still say maybe the advantage here belongs to the pitching advantage anyway, could belong to the Marlins, right? With Sandy on the mound. And like I said, the Dodgers, this will be a bullpen game for sure. Kasparian has made 11 appearances so far in just one start. So for Sandy here, 6 starts, a 2-3 record, 8.31 ERA. What is it? The first game of the season, Sandy's had 6 starts and he's got an 8.31 ERA right now and a 1.6 WHIP. So we just can't say right now that Sandy is, going to be immediately better or just off to a slow start. Got to wonder what's going on here a little bit with those numbers. So, of course, Kasparian, he does have a 2.91 ERA and an 0.92 whip. He's looked good, but again, it's probably just going to go around the lineup once, or maybe you can get a few innings out of him here. Ooh, sorry, guys. I had plenty of rest. Uh, Kasparian, good control, walking just 3.5% of the hitters so far this season, and Sandy's only striking out 16% of the batters here right now. So, what is wrong with Sandy? Let's go to the chat a little bit here. Get ready for your Major League Baseball plays today with the Dodgers on the road, taking on the Marlins on Cinco de Mayo. All right, who wants some tacos and beer here today? Where I grew up in Southern California, this is a holiday, baby. This is a big time holiday today for sure. That's a day to ditch work and go out and have some tacos and beer. All right, I could stereotype it too much. All right. Here's the thing: Dodgers aren't necessarily covering run lines here at this point, and that makes it a little bit tough. Even though you just want to why not just take the Dodgers here? It feels like the Dodgers still should be able to take this run line right now. Yes, they did lose that game to the Braves last night, and even I wimped out yesterday, right? Because I was like, if you remember the show, and I will say the Team Steam consensus was on the Dodgers. Remember, and I can say, easy to say it now, but I mean, everybody watched the show was like, I want to take the Braves so bad. I want to take these Braves. This looks like the Braves spot. And then the consensus came in on the Dodgers, and I just backed off and went with a losing total play in the game. So, no problem. Let's go to the comments in the chat a little bit. 6 straight games between these two teams have gone over here. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to look at your plays. Here we go. Will took 1,000 on the Panthers. Okay, Jerry's here. He's got the Dodgers team total over here in this one. Cash Kane is on the Marlins on the money line. And Luis likes the over here. And Oldie says Marlins team total over against the Dodgers today. And AOD says I need one of those Vietnamese coffee like I was in a poker game. Will says the Dodgers are in a slump. Yeah, that's right. They've lost 1 in a row here. They were on a winning streak, though. Will knows before that, I think. And Spoons and I are ready to go head on over to get some taco. We can get them on the side of the road, Spoons, right? Some Barrio tacos here. I'm so boring. I think Taco Bell is a Mexican food place. All right. I think I sometimes like Taco Bell over some of the authentic Mexican places, but maybe that's just because it's easier for me. But nothing like anybody from, when you're from San Diego, you get the best Mexican food in the world, or at least in this country. I think, anyway, with some of the great places they have down there. But we're in Vegas now, so all right. Kind of want to give you guys a chance to get me off this Dodgers money, this Dodgers run line a little bit. They're not covering these run lines at all. Let me see what their current 6-10 on the run line on the road right now. And Marlins things aren't going very well here at 13-20 here at this point. So I think they're just starting to announce that Kasparian was the starter. I guess officially it's starting to come out a little bit right now, but everybody, all the beat writers were saying this is the Dodgers for the bullpen game. There's no doubt this is a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Doesn't mean squat. Dodgers bullpen is just fine. They're not out there with the top teams here at this point. They still have a 3.6 ERA out of the bullpen. I think that's probably around number 10 or 11 overall here, but not horrible here, certainly, unlike Miami, which is down near the bottom five bullpen so far here. So for me, look, this has long been kind of a dominant series between these for uh, the Dodgers here. So, all right, I guess that's it for me in this one. And nobody even mentioned yet in the in the chat, right? That don't forget the Dodgers were the uh, Sunday night game, but they're going from Atlanta to Miami. Not too big of a deal there, right? Let's see here. I've got you guys talking Mexican food there, and watch the soccer action here today a little bit. Marlins run line could be the answer here, says Jerry, right? Because of what I was saying, Dodgers. Marlins are just 10-9 on the run line so far this season, but um, these two teams have already had a series, of course, back in just last week. It was, right? The Dodgers swept the Marlins. The Dodgers scored 34 runs in 3 games against Marlins pitching. Now, Marlins did score 15, but it was a clean sweep. Dodgers also took the run line in 2 of those 3 games. Robert does like the under here. Sancho's catching up to us a little bit, but he's got OKC in that basketball game. Thank you, Sancho. And there's Jermaine. Jermaine would have been he would have been on my case for the early. If he would have arrived a few minutes earlier, he would have said, "Ramon, you got the no pitcher under the Miami graphic." So Jermaine's here to watch over me. All right. Well, look, there's only 10 games. I can only do what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Dodgers on the run line. I'm a little tilted after yesterday. Maybe that's too square. Like I said, they're not covering run lines at all. It feels like right now on the road, 6-10 overall. But again, pretty hard to ignore these scores last week between the two teams. They beat the Marlins 15-2 and 12-7 in back-to-back games last week. I'll go ahead and take the Dodgers as my play here on the show. All right. Seems easy enough, right? Just take the Dodgers. I love them. I love the Dodgers. Woohoo! Okay, let's keep rolling here right now. Guardians and the Nationals. This looks a little closer here with the Guardians favored minus $1.20 right now. 9 under 25. It feels like you got Luis Ortiz going here for the Guardians in this one. He's up here against Irvin of the Nationals. For Ortiz here, he comes in with a 4.78 ERA, 2-3 record, 298 BABIP coming in, and a 1.4 WHIP. Cleveland pretty hot here right now following their weekend series. They did a pretty good job against Toronto, won the final 2 games of the series, and they're pretty hot right now. The Nationals, hey, they're not doing too bad either. They just come off of winning 2 straight games as well over the Cincinnati Reds on the road, including yesterday's fine performance there by Mackenzie Gore and the Nationals, getting some well-deserved wins after a slow start here. They are up to 16-19. That's okay. They've improved here, it feels like right now. And meanwhile, the Guardians 20-14. Man, they're playing well here, despite the fact their offense isn't necessarily clicking yet. Well, 3.9 runs per game for the Guardians, and they are allowing 4.5 runs per game. That's interesting, right? Because they're above 500, yet they are not necessarily out. Like I said, they're being outscored by their opponents by 0.6 runs per game, yet they're 6 games over 500 coming in. For Urban here, a 4.01 ERA, 230 batting average against, and a 242 BABIP coming into this one. And like I said, the Nationals, this isn't too bad, is what I'm feeling here. Considering their start, and they're kind of bouncing back right now a little bit. Now, they have struggled for sure in a lot of these games when they're coming off of a win. It really is not a great spot for Washington, but maybe it's a beatable team. Let's see if you guys have anything in this one here. Cleveland and Washington. All right, here we go. Trevor says Nationals first 5. And here's Jerry says take the Nats in the first 5. Ortiz's road numbers are weak. 9 Legacy says Guardians money line and Marlins run line. And Luis is on Cleveland here in this one. All right. These two teams last season, they met in Cleveland for their series. The Guardians won 2 of the 3 games there. And I think that's going to be it from you guys from the chat here in this one. I'm going to take the over here with Cleveland and Washington at 9 runs. That's it from you guys in that one. Let's move on to Padres and Yankees here. Excitement for me. Look, Padres are hot once again. Yeah, maybe the opponent wasn't anything special here this weekend as they rolled the Pittsburgh Pirates and shut them out yesterday 4-0. Outscored the Pirates 15-5 in the series. They kind of have the Pirates number going up here against the Yanks, who dominate the Padres when they play. It's an interleague series, though, so no sweat here. But do have Nick Pivetta, who I guess he might have pitched against the Yankees once or twice in his career, huh? For Pivetta here, he's been actually one of the best pitchers in baseball so far this season. He's 5-1 with a 1.78 ERA this season, a 0.82 whip, 169 batting average against, and a 226 BABIP. He's going up against Carlos Rodon. And Rodon, numbers-wise, pretty strong, right? Still, 4-3 record, a 3.43 ERA doesn't seem overwhelming necessarily, but look at the batting average against 154. The BABIP is 186. So a little bit of tough luck with that ERA, a little bit, and that record as well at 4-3, and a left-hander. So we'll see here. This one still got the Yankees favored, $1.40 at this point, even a little higher. I think you could even that's the lowest number you could find. I don't even know if you could. I'm going to put $1.50 right now here in this one, and I'm going to juice the total a little bit to the under. It feels like. And let's see how you guys are going to play this one. Look, I want to be optimistic here. Padres are playing well. Tatis is back. Padres are about to get Jackson Merrill back in this lineup. He's been doing his rehab a little bit here. It's almost Jackson Merrill day for the Padres. You guys are rolling with the comments. Let me go right to it. This is going to be a great I'm looking forward to this for sure. Here, thank you, Stop Geo, here today. Appreciate it. And I know you guys always give me my flowers every day. And look, it's not about, hey, I want to be the best handicapper. I want to pick winners for you guys. But I think the key is just being here every day. Hopefully that's how I've earned my status among all the great guys doing stuff like this, my peers who I admire so much. And the only way I can keep up with them is to make sure I come on here every day and do the show consistently. They're hopefully not necessarily all about the wins and losses, but we want to win them all. We all do. We know that. Luis is going over here in this one. Cash Kane likes the Padres on the money line. Sancho, Padres here. Cash Kane over here in this one, but Jerry's going under. And Nine Legacy says Yankees run line here to beat up the Padres. And this one, Irish Thompson says the Padres for him. Hey, it's Cinco de Mayo. You got to go with the Padres, I think, right? Robert McCormick on the Padres here. It feels like definitely a split between you guys right now. And Stop Gio's got a prop on Sandy with his struggles right now. Robert likes the under with this one. I'm going to go with Robert. I think Robert, I know, look, I know you guys look to what I'm on and what you guys talk about the Chat All Stars, and I know Robert's been noticing, or I have, maybe, I don't know. Robert, you tell me, but Robert and I probably about as far apart as we've ever been the last weekend. I feel like every time Robert had the play, I'm going under with Robert for sure here after. Robert, you said you had a few feels like you should have won big this weekend the way I had a few struggles and we were against it. You should have won. Thank you to my buddy Bobby Mack there, and hope to toast with him one day. And I think that's it from you guys in the chat here. I am starting to see actually. Could we be seeing a little bit of a move? I have it listed 7 under 15, and I might have actually went the wrong way there in that one, because now I'm starting to see 8 under 20 at some square books, and most of the books are actually at 7 over. I was just kind of going with the circa number there at 7.5 under 15. I'll still go under in this one. Look, I think Rodon. I don't think it's a. I don't know if it's sustainable. I don't think it's a fluke. I've always been kind of a Carlos Rodon fan. Yes, there's always going to be some inconsistency, but right now, out of all the major leaguers, you take a good game or a big game, and the Yankees and their options, probably take Rodon a little bit. So, all right, Sancho said it's going to be a great game on Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. All right, I'll take the under with the Padres and the Yankees. All right, yes, that's right, Robert. Good job. Let's move along now and go to the next one here with the Reds and the Braves in this one. And hey, this isn't a bad game here, right? Because you got the Reds doing a great job, man. 18 and 17. I think if you're a Reds fan, you're going to be pretty satisfied right now, despite those last 2 losses over the weekend here. No big deal. Washington did a nice job, and they're playing a little bit better. Maybe a little bit of pause for concern. But you do have Brady Singer here. He's 4-1 with a 3.24 ERA. He's been really good for the Reds. It feels like he's found a home here in Cincinnati. The former Royal here, he's got a 1.08 whip and a 198 batting average against the Reds. Look at this offense continuing to produce here. Yeah, they got 1 run against Gore and company yesterday, but averaging 5 runs a game for the Reds here. Sure, at home they're going to be a little bit better, but give the pitching credit too, allowing just 4.1 runs per game is this pitching staff. So the Reds, you got to give a lot of credit to what they're doing. And for Smith Shawver here, he's still developing, right? I mean, he's 1-2 with a 4.26 ERA, 1.68 WHIP so far this season, and a 3.92 BABIP. These are just not good numbers so far for the budding star here. So the Reds got a veteran pitcher doing a good job coming in, and a team that's playing well against a Braves team that, well, I don't know. I can say it. They're under 500. Right at this point, 15 and 18 here, and they're a little bit of a favorite for sure. I got them $1.45, total 8.5, and starting to shade up a little bit. I'll put 8.5 over 15. It does feel like that's the direction the total's heading a little bit here in this one, but again, the Reds doing a nice job here. It's just that they might be a team that might be more adapt to their home surroundings here. So let's see what you guys have here in this one, though, between Cincinnati and Atlanta today. But like I said, I'm talking up the Reds here a little bit for sure. Uh, doing well, especially as an underdog. I think they've had some nice. Let me see what they are here as a dog so far. The 8-9. I mean, you're not going to complain. That's profit right there. 8-9 is an underdog for the Cincinnati Reds. Atlanta just 12-11 as a favorite. That's clear that is not profitable. That the Braves are the more profitable team. The Reds are the more profitable team. Reds are kind of a break-even proposition so far this season. The Braves are down 10 units already so far this season. So let's go to 9 1/3. Actually, 9 1/3. So okay, here we go. Cash Cane, Reds. Reds, maybe that's Reds plus money. I think that's what that is. And let's see here. Jerry says, I'd like to get to the Padres, but after back-to-back losses at home. What does that mean? Oh, meaning the Yankees. Yeah. Yankees hungry, I think is what he's saying there. Jerry on the Reds, first 5, and Reds team total over. Luis is on the over. And Robert here, he's laughing at us. And the Braves give him a couple wins, and maybe they're not all that. We're waiting, right? Waiting for the Braves. Oh, they'll get healthy. They're going to be coming along. And Jermaine likes the over here between these two. And Spoons says what I'm thinking on the Reds. I mean, obviously, the way my tone of the narrative here a little bit in this one. And Reds oldie says, take him +1 just to be sure. Bobby Mack on the Reds. 9 Legacy says Braves run line here. And Atlanta Trevor also Atlanta money line in this one. But I got to take the Cincinnati Reds as my play here today. I like what the Reds are doing here right now. Like I said, I'm not going to bark at this offense necessarily at all for the Reds. Yeah, maybe at home. The numbers don't necessarily say, do they, that the Reds are that much more just expected at home. They would have more runs scored. But look, I would think against Smith-Shawver, Marte. I'm not even so much worried about a guy like Ellie De La Cruz. I look at some of these other bats against Smith-Shawver, right? With Steer, with Marte, with Espinal, with McLean, whoever's in there today. These Reds, they might be the no-name offense a little bit, but they are looking pretty good here. And, probably both these lineups are still ranked down in the middle, but I've been impressed. And Irish Thompson says, fade the Braves more on the road. Okay, but I'm going to take the Reds here, a little plus money. Next up is the Giants. They're taking on the Cubs here with Landon Roop going up against Boyd here, $1.45 here in this one for the Cubs at home, going up against the Giants. Right now it's going up here even a little bit, maybe $1.55 even at some of the sharp books. This one's definitely going up on the Cubs. And, yeah, I mean, the Giants are, what can you say right now? Looking good, but so are the Cubs. It's probably the best series of the week, it feels like, maybe even over the Padres and the Yankees here. This is a good matchup for sure of good teams, man.
Final.
You got the Giants 22-13. You got the Cubs coming in 21-14. Matt Boyd looking good numbers here. So far, this has been a good situation for Matt Boyd on the Cubs. Both teams come in here relatively hot. The Cubs did lose yesterday, but we're at a 1-3 straight, and they won that series over Milwaukee despite getting shut out yesterday. Anybody on the I know you guys are hot with PCA. Anybody want to put PCA in the MVP race at all? A little bit with what this guy is doing right now. Man, he's fun to watch here. Crow Armstrong. It's only a matter of time, it feels like. Uh, uh, went deep there for a consecutive day and hit 3 home runs in that series against Milwaukee. Yeah, they got shut down yesterday. He still had a hit, but man, uh, Crow Armstrong, wow, this guy's been pretty awesome so far this season. And, somebody made a joke on the uh, Pete Crow Armstrong. Was he the son of Sheryl Crow and Lance Armstrong? No, but I believe his parents were actors. I think I was watching a profile on him. I think one of his, maybe they both were. I don't know. Anyways, Cubs here, $1.50 does seem a little bit tough to swallow still here. I mean, the Giants are still playing very, very well. It's just that the Cubs have that, strong offense. And look, I feel a little bit vindicated here by their great start because I was on this offense from week one, talking about how I thought they might have a top five offense despite some of these names, but they've proven it. And I would think here against uh, Roop, probably a pretty good matchup for Suzuki, for Nico Horner. It's not a great man. One thing Roop does, I mean, it could be actually a little bit tough for guys like Happ and Tucker and Bush. This is and PCA. This is kind of where Roop does his best work. So, hey, that steam you just heard is out of the NBA, and right now, a game. Moving forward, I'll just mention it though, because we have a game on the move here a little bit. Golden State and Minnesota, it did open around 207, 207 and a half on the total. But right now, during the morning steam, we're not just making this up. And this is real actionable betting information that I bring you here daily. The total is moving higher right now in the game between the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We're up to 209 now at Circa. Right now, this total is moving as many as 1.5 or 2 points total over between Golden State and Minnesota, clearly on the move here at many books. So this is coordinated steam here from the Sharps right now, moving this one higher. Golden State and Minnesota steam to the over right now here on the morning steam show. All right, let's go back to the game between San Francisco and the Cubs. Here today, I'm trying to do is find my way to San Francisco, and I'm not sure I can do it. So let me go to the chat, see if I can get your help in this one. It does feel like I said, this is a pretty good series here this week. And look, Chicago's won 9 straight games off of a road loss. And the Giants have gone over in 10 straight games as an underdog. San Francisco's gone just 1-5 in their last 6 games on the road coming in. Of course, the Giants did beat up on Colorado this weekend, winning 3 straight, won the series 3-1. Remember, they lost the first one, but then got their offense rolling a little bit against the Rockies for the Cubs here. Like I said, they did lose their last game, got shut out, but they have won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here in Chicago, and San Francisco's come in. 13 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Cubs have gone over at home for sure this season. They're 11-5 to the over, and like I said, these Giants as an underdog. How about this? We just mentioned those. That mark of going over in 10 straight games as an underdog this season. So let's see what you guys have here in this one. It's going to be, man, you guys got a lot of picks here. Let me see here. With Giants on the run line, starts it off for 9 Legacy. Oh, what is the run line price? I just thought it might be too heavy, but now that the Cubs are taking this action here a little bit, minus 165. What is this, a hockey game? Jerry Davis likes the under here. Luis likes the under. Robert likes the under. Everybody's going under here in this one. And always got to check the weather when you have somebody like this. Wind blowing in from left field, 4 to 5 miles an hour. Not much of a factor today. Temperatures in the mid 50s and getting colder here tonight. Cubs money line for Cash Kane. Jermaine under. Oh, wow, look at this. Under's a consensus play, says Cash Kane. Okay, well, I'll mark it down. I guess I better pivot then to the side in this one. Here's Fernando, Cubs, team total over. And let's see here. Fernando says Cubs run line. Nine Legacy says, yeah, it is not Sheryl Crow and Lance Armstrong. Remember, they're Spoon says Giants bad against lefties, wind blowing in, cold temperatures. I don't know if that wind is too much there, but he says the ballpark pal has it a negative run scoring environment. And Spoons is taking the Cubs -1 here. I just can't get in line with the price, it feels like. I mean, it feels kind of disrespectful to me for the against the Giants here. Like I said, I think that Landon Roop. Let me cover the numbers here a little bit for these guys, right? Roop has a 5.1 ERA so far. Matt Boyd 2.7 ERA, but both pitchers kind of high on the BABIP here. That's what kind of has me thinking that maybe it would be more of an over here. But all right, but I'm going to make my call here in this one as well. I know I'm taking my time, but I'm enjoying the company here with you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Cubs as a favorite here. Don't like the price, so I'm just going to do it as my play here on the show. No premium action here. Hello to Sancho. Irish Thompson's on the Cubbies. Good to have Irish Thompson here with a proper 12 there. And Jermaine says also Giants go over on the road. Yeah, right, Jermaine. But then that's where they're going to be an underdog most of all. But 13-4-1 on the road to the over, and the Cubs 11-5 to the over at home. But we did talk about those conditions today as well. But still low total, right? Okay, that's going to do it for that one. Thanks, you guys. We're having a good time here. It feels like on the morning steam today with some. When we can kind of look at the stats, that's when I feel like I've done a better job. We got a billion games, and I'm like, 2-5 on the road, 5. Feels like sometimes we just have to gloss over the game sometimes. But hey, the daily grind of Major League Baseball, I kind of enjoy it. When the schedule slows down. Okay, look at this one. The White. Look at this exciting action. You know what? Give the White Sox. I don't want to say we're gonna crown them anything at this point. They're pretty bad, but they do got Shane Smith here in this one. This has kind of been the feels like a bright spot here for sure for Shane Smith. He'll be the next. White Sox pitcher to go on probably to success with another team. But look at these numbers, pretty solid. 2.23 ERA in 6 starts. So the White Sox are just 1-5 with Smith. Here's the thing, right? And Mikey says it too, and I think he's wrong to a certain extent. And not wrong in the terms of, but he says wins and losses, it doesn't matter, when you're looking. And he's right, the fact that, I guess it's a stat that doesn't really reflect. But here, look, Smith has a 1-1 record. The White Sox are 1-5 when Smith starts. Smith has as good numbers as most above average pitchers in the league. 2.23 ERA, 108 WHIP, 200 batting average against, 247 BABIP, and if you want to get into the metrics, it's just as solid. So he keeps them in the games, and then the bullpen comes in and loses it. That's clear as day. There's no other way to argue it. This is the White Sox. They're going to lose a lot of games because they suck. But Smith has done a great job. And maybe they against a team like the Royals, maybe they could compete, especially at a price like this. The Royals 250 here. The Royals are pretty hot, so it's pretty tough right now. They won the last two games there against Baltimore this weekend. They did a good job in that series against Tampa Bay. Kansas City's playing pretty well. And Cole Raggins, he's been doing an okay job here, but still a 4.4 ERA, 3.43 BABIP, not good there, but 1.17 whip, that's okay for sure there, especially going up against a weak White Sox team. That's clear here. So let's get your input though in this one. I'm already telling you here in this one, I'm on the White Sox run line. I can't pass on this one, but they're best pitcher here. They're plus 1.5 at even money, so I'm going to take the White Sox. But let me go to and have I been on the White Sox every game this season? It feels like maybe they probably cost me money, but here I am again, ready to take them here. Look on the run line; they're 18-16 so far this season, 9-7 on the run line on the road. They've covered 7 of the last 10. They've been an underdog every game. Okay, so here on the run line, I'm going to be willing to take them here. Let's get into some of the numbers here. The White Sox have lost 6 straight games here against Kansas City. Overall, they've already met here, right? In game, no, first game of this first game between these two division foes. 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Kansas City's gone under in 14 of their last 20 games overall, including 7 of their last 10. They're 12-22 to the under so far this season. White Sox 7-9 to the under on the road, probably because of that offense a little bit, because they've gone over in 7 of their last 10. But the White Sox have the better offense between these two teams, man. The White Sox, 3.6 runs per game so far. Kansas City, just 3.4 runs per game. And the White Sox, they're only allowing 4.4 runs per game. We know the Royals pitching has been their strong suit so far, and part of the reason why they're off to that 19-16 start, doing pretty well here so far. But Smith is clearly the better pitcher statistically so far, and I don't think there's any, it's 6 games, it might be a small sample, but it does feel like Shane Smith. Not only, I mean, here's the thing: he's a Rule 5 guy. He's a Rule 5 gem at this point. A great pickup here, and like I said, he'll probably go on to success somewhere else one day. Here we go with the chat saying, oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one there. The Cubs were a consensus play. Thank you, Cash Kane. Thank you guys for stepping up. Oh, did we have 2 plays in that game, both the under, or did I read it wrong? Cubs, okay, so 2 plays in that game, Cubs and under. Wow, okay. Thank you. Here we go. And Luis, I think he's under in this one, possibly. And what is it with the white? There's another thing, right? I saw the statistic. I usually write these down. That's why I always come with the great trends, and I forgot to write. But the White Sox, aren't they on some kind of bizarre first fives, like really strong first five? I should have this first 5 records right now. Ready to go, because the White Sox, apparently they're like unconscious in some of these first 5s right now, right? Jerry Davis says White Sox first 5 full game under. Jermaine's on the under. Cash Kane on the under. Sancho, White Sox first 5. And Irish Thomas says the Royals the biggest favorite on the betting card. I don't know if he's laughing at that or just making a factual state. It is a fact, but White Sox money line for 9 legacy Cash Kane plus 2.5. Look, I don't want to ever give out 2.5s on the show, because I try to keep these as close to 110 as possible and all the picks that I make on the show. But I don't mind taking 2.5, privately every single time. And let's see here. Smith is dealing here, says Jerry. And White Sox got a 118 WRC plus against left-handed batters here. Robert likes the under. Spoons likes the under as well. Hey, if you guys get a chance, check me out on a YouTube channel called Cover the Spread, and you might see my pick on this one. Maybe I'm already telling you what it is, but if you want to see more of me, if you don't do it. White Sox first 5-0 run line away. Okay, I see. Thank you, Jermaine. Awesome. But Royals first 5-4-1 on the run line. Is that what he's saying? White Sox here, a money line for Irish Thompson. Wow, I'm not alone. A lot of White Sox. There was some Royals support. I don't know if it's a consensus, but I'm going to take the White Sox again. And did I mention? Yeah, I think I did. But man, those White Sox, I don't know if they were cool or not. Everyone seemed to like the White Sox Bulls jerseys, the red and the black. I wouldn't mind if they wore those again. I think that was it on Saturday they wore those red and black White Sox jerseys. They look cool. Let's move on to the next one here right now. The Astros are taking on the Brewers. This seems like a pretty decent matchup here with the Brewers and the Astros and Ronel Blanco going in this one against Myers of the Brewers. Both teams in a little bit of a funk right now. The Astros have lost 3 of their last 4. The Brewers have lost 3 of their last 4, although the Brewers did win that game yesterday over the Cubs. The Astros, who did they lose 2 of 3 to? The White Sox. For Blanco here, a 5.08 ERA, 1.3. The whip coming into this one, 240 BABIP, so we're probably a little bit of tough luck here for Blanco. The Astros are 4-2 with Blanco on the mound. For Myers here, 2 starts, 3 appearances, 5.14 ERA, 1.8 the whip, but 263 BABIP, 231 batting average against obviously the 20% walk rate is unacceptable here for these two. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. Right now, the current line is Brewers favored here, minus 115 probably, and the total has moved higher here, mostly 8.5 unders. It feels like at this point, although the sharp books are still 8/25 or so. We're ready for you folks in the chat there, I guess, in this decent game here for sure. Both teams, Houston 1 game over 500, Milwaukee 1 game under 500 here at this point. These two pitchers have combined to go 6-2 to the over so far this season. It's the Brewers that are averaging 4.7 runs per game. The Astros are averaging 4 runs per game, but the pitching's been good. For the Brewers, they're allowing 4.5 runs per game here. Game 1 of the series between Houston and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's won 10 of their last 15 games at home so far this season. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here have gone under, but Houston's gone over right now in 7 straight games here currently, mostly because of their pitching has been allowing some, although they did win that game against the White Sox 8-3. Although they've been going over, I will say the Astros are 1-5-2 to the under so far this season as a dog, but they're not a big dog here necessarily. Let's go to the chat and see what you have this one. Astros and Brewers here right now. Houston has, let's see here. Let me just go to the chat. It's Cash Kane on Houston to start us off. And hello to Joe T. Good morning to Joe today in the chat. See if he gets us some action here. Jerry says Houston team total over. And Jermaine, first 5 over in this one. 9 legacy. Brewers on the money line. Jerry says, you know what? Myers numbers, not good. Brewers bullpen, not good. They're in the bottom 5 here, certainly right now. You really have system play near 5 ERA, but Trevor says go over here in this one. I will, Trevor. Thank you. My plays on the over might be my premium, but I like it. Go over here in this one. It continues to go up, so I'm probably not going to use it as a premium now that we're looking at mostly 8.5s. Robert on the Astros here, and Fernando says Astros team total over in this one. That might be it. I'll give you guys one more second, then we'll move to the next one. Thank you, everybody. Next up is division action here. Pirates and Cardinals with Vajinsky going for the Pirates and Mikolas here for the Cardinals. Here, the Cardinals going to be favored $1.40 right now. It feels like it's going down here. In fact, we're seeing a little bit of a move here to the Pirates in this one. And okay, whatever. Pirates, 12-23, probably one of the worst teams in the league right now. Just got to start to say it here at this point. Pirates really not getting it done right now, coming with a 4-game losing streak. And Majinski, I mean, you want him to be better than he is. He should be better than he is when it looks the way he looks on the mound. But still, 6.5 ERA, 1.8 WHIP, and a 400 BABIP coming in. Mikolas not great so far. In fact, the Cardinals are 1-5 with Mikolas on the mound, a 4.66 ERA, 1.34 the WHIP, 260 batting average against, and a 300 BABIP. Mikolas not overpowering, that's for sure. So far, these two teams did already meet in a series to open the season at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh did win that series 2-1. And let's see how you guys want to play this division matchup here with Pittsburgh on a losing streak here. They've lost 7 of their last 8 as well. And St. Louis did win their last 2 games of that series against the Mets. Remember, they had lost 9 straight to the Mets before sweeping that doubleheader yesterday. So maybe the Cards are picking up the pace, and if anything, the Cards are on sale here right now. It feels like they were as high as $1.55 maybe on some of the openers on average, and you're saving 20 cents here. With the Cardinals, it feels like, today. So still a favorite with a team that isn't very good, but they're 16-19. They're certainly a little bit better than Pittsburgh here at this point, but Pittsburgh is taking the action. Cardinals have gone over in 5 straight, including 4 of their last 5 at home. The unders come in 8 of the last 11 meetings between these division rivals, including 6 of the last 7 here at Busch. Pittsburgh, Cardinals have won not only just 2 straight, 4 of their last 6. So not a big deal there. But let's go to the chat. Cardinals are 6-2-1 as a favorite to the over. And here we go with Mikolas heating up here, says Jerry, right? And now you're getting a discount here, but 9 Legacy likes the Pittsburgh money line. Robert likes the under here in this one. I'm going to go with Robert again. I owe him. And if he had I'm going to go under here with Pittsburgh and St. Louis. And Spoon says he likes the Cardinals. He says the Cardinals' better bullpen guys are available, even despite that doubleheader yesterday. And that is surprising because you're right. Remember those games there yesterday were close, and you get that extra pitcher in there, I guess, right? And let's see here. Jermaine says, I don't know because of the doubleheader. Jerry's on the Cards, and Will says, hey, I took the Cards yesterday, and I'll take them again today. Yeah, I was kind of that guy. Says, the Mets own them. I'll take the Mets, but maybe the Mets were a little bit out of gas there, a little bit. Want to mention also real quick, Let me get this graphic off the screen. It's not breaking news or anything, but it is something that kind of was this morning, or if it came in overnight, or if it was late last night. But the Texas Rangers did fire their batting coach, and why not? I mean, their worst offense, it feels like, in the league. But Donnie Ecker was fired there because of the struggles at the plate. Look, he's been with this team a while, and he got a lot of credit when the Rangers won there when the Rangers won the World Series, right? So a little bit of a surprise there, but they fired their hitting coach. Funny because the Rangers did, I think, what was the score? I think they actually beat up on the Mariners. Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember what the score was, but they uh, busted out a little bit, but still they're hitting just 228 as a team and 359 slugging. So they fired the coach. But I think they scored a bunch of runs yesterday, right? In that, oh, what was it? Because I had the under, of course, with all those unders. So we whiffed on that game. I don't remember what it was, but it had to be like 10-1 or something like that. All right. Let's see here. Well, good. Will called them and said, would you? Hey, Sancho said Maple Leafs money line today. Thanks, Sancho. I'm going to go with the under in this one, but again, I like teams with discounts, and a lot of people, like I said, and I'll say it every month, once a month at least, right? With talking about a lot of handicappers will come on and say, "Oh, this team is the value," and what they say, and for the most part, is uh, they're the value because they like that team, and they may nothing wrong with saying it like that. It's just that for me, I say a team with value is a team that, like the Cardinals here, where they were $1.45 and now they're $1.35, right? That's value to me. You're saving money without. Now, I don't know, maybe there's some personnel. In baseball, it's a little different, and we don't really know much about the injuries yet here today. But unless the move is injury related, like some news comes out and then the line moves immediately, this has been just a gradual move on Pittsburgh because maybe they're a hot commodity with the Sharps or whatever, right? Because who in their right mind wants to look? I get it. Both teams are, not great here, so maybe Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's not impressing anybody, really, are they? So to me, the Cardinals are the value because they were $1.50, $1.55, and now they're $1.35 with no good reason. So, all right, I say no good. That's just a dumb statement by me, but Cardinals are the better team record wise. They're at home. Nicholas is pitching better. They won those 2 games over the Mets. Look at it however you want. Pirates were outscored by the Padres this weekend, 15-5. All right. Here, let's see here. And Spoon says, right? Maybe pitching coach was like, or a hitting coach was like, yeah, if you guys would open the roof, I'd still have a job. Jerry says Nicholas hasn't even given up a home run. Here's O'Neill Cruz home run. Reynolds on his over the bases there in the Pittsburgh game. And Irish King. Let's leave this up there a second if anybody's hot with Irish King. 90. I never say 97, but I don't know. Is Irish King a 27 or 28-year-old Irish King? Or is that just his favorite numbers on the end? All right, nice to have those picks from Irish King. We've only got 2 games left, and then we're done with the show. Thank you for joining me here, and we've got the Mets. We talked about them just a few moments ago because of that doubleheader yesterday. Not going to worry about that too much. The Mets have been great. I almost want to say the Mets, the expectations are always high and they're always a disappointment, right? So far, so good. Yeah, they've lost some games here for sure. Uh, probably the worst stretch here right now for the Mets all season, having lost 4 of their last 5. But Look, I'm not going to hate on Griffin Canning here at this point. I'm kind of on board with Griffin Canning. Easy to say when he's got a 2.61 ERA and a 4-1 record. The Mets are 5-1 with Griffin Canning, but I don't know if anybody saw this coming. One thing I have said here, though, over the last several starts is, look, the Mets were a team that was, they're expected to be a big impact team with all of their signings. And yes, you might have to save some money elsewhere here, but you pick up a veteran like Griffin Canning. I say a veteran now, and Griffin Canning, bringing him over here from the Angels and putting him in a starting rotation for a team that is supposed to be stellar. That's a big promotion for someone like Griffin Canning, and he's come through. Now, he does have a 318 BABIP, so maybe there's been a little bit of luck involved with this offense of the Mets, 4.8 runs per game, and uh, you know, uh, not gonna bang on Soto here because he's been, um, you know, everything is supposed to be here at this point. The Mets have certainly a top 10 offense, if not a top 8 offense. Arizona, we know, has a good offense. This has been good. They're averaging 5.2 runs per game. It's the pitching that's been a problem, and Nelson hasn't been. He should be better. Right, 5.82 ERA, 312 BABIP, 1.17 WHIP is pretty good, but still a little bit clunky here for Nelson. He's just an opener though, really for the most part, right here today. So it feels like a bullpen game for Arizona here in this one, and they are favored right now. Dollar 15 or so. Maybe it's gone down a little bit. Total 9.5, maybe shaded to the under here in this one. You got a New York team that is, get this, 0-8 to the under as an underdog so far this season. They're clearly an underdog, and I don't think they're going to be a favorite in this one necessarily. The move actually feels like it's kind of on Arizona here today, but interesting to note 0-8 there for the Mets as an underdog. And, well, they are on the road here at Arizona. It's some pitching for the Mets that has been so good. All right. Arizona's lost 6 of the last 7 meetings at home against the New York Mets, but the Mets have, like I said, lost 4 out of their last 5, and they have defeated Arizona in 12 of their last 18 meetings overall. Coming into this one, 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Arizona's gone over in 5 straight games at home. They're just 7-6-3 to the over at home, but 5 straight. Arizona's gone under, though, in 4 of their last 5. Mets have gone over in 5 straight on the road, despite what I said about them being an underdog. 0-8 to the under. So kind of conflicting numbers there, but let's see how you guys see it in this one. Mets and Diamondbacks here. And the Jermaine special here, Mets have won dating back to last season, 13 straight games on Monday night. Let's go to the chat here. And Nine Legacy like the Pirates in that one. Interesting to note. Jermaine also, but here he goes. Diamondbacks team total over. Cash Kane, Diamondbacks money line. Luis is on the Diamondbacks. Here's an under vote from Cash Kane. Diamondbacks money line here for Irish King. Bobby Mack is on the Mets in this one, and so is Nine Legacy. Spoon says you got Marte back in this lineup here today in this one. Much needed there. Well, I'm going to say not much needed, right? But man, these guys, Carroll, obviously terrific. But how about the contributions from a guy like Randall Grichuk, who's been, a pretty big bargain, it feels like, for Arizona for Grichuk. With also Perdomo, Suarez. What's Suarez's status here, though, right? Well, he did have a hit yesterday. We know he had that. Remember, he had that monster game. I don't think he did. I don't think he's done much since then. Maybe that's why I was worried about him. Okay, uh, but again, this Arizona offense has been pretty stellar. But Canning's been good, man. I mean, I'm on Griffin Canning team Canning. Uh, Diamondbacks money line here, and Diamondbacks here. Oh, he says though Nelson kind of gets rocked at home there a little bit. Trevor, Arizona money line, and Will Johnson there with the Diamondbacks. How about it? And Will says because the Mets had that doubleheader, could they be a bit fatigued? Possibly, I think is what he's saying there. Oldie, maybe on a lot of Diamondback support here. And Jermaine says this one's going to be a high scoring game. All right. I'm taking, let me see. I'm going to take in this one. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to go under, actually. Let me make sure. Too late now. After I say it, I never turn back. But I forgot to check my market action here. I'm going under, I don't know, 13 or 14 runs. I'm going to get toasted here in this one, but I'm going to go under as my play. All right, Irish Thompson on the Mets. One more and the show's over here. I was able to grind out a couple of hours off of this schedule here. Uh, this is the most important 2 hours of my day every day to be here. 2.5, 3, as long as it takes here on the morning steam. This is so important to me, you guys, to do this show. All right, Mariners here and Bobby Miller, or uh, Miller here in this one. I always get these guys confused here, but let's take a look at this one right now with the Mariners taking on the A's and Severino in there as well. We got a near pick 'em here. Are the A's really the favorite team now? Right now, no. I don't think they are. It does feel like the line is shifting now. The sharp books are kind of still hanging on to a pick, but the square books have kind of already moved to the Mariners as the road favorite here. Total, uh, either 9 under, maybe I'm going to say 8.5 over is the more popular line here at this point. There we go for Bryce Miller here. Make sure I get my Millers straight. For Bryce Miller here, 3.52 ERA, 3.08 the BABIP here in this one. He's 2-3 overall. Severino 1-3 with a 1.16 WHIP, 3.33 ERA, and a 2.64 BABIP coming into this one. Miller's had control problems for sure, but he's a gets his share of strikeouts. The Mariners both teams have been hot coming into this one, and man, I love these Las Vegas A's right now. The Mash Athletics here. They are one of the best stories going. It feels like right now. Considering their expectations. Now they are going up against, I will almost want to say, a bit of a juggernaut here at this point. Seattle quietly building this 20-13 record as the team. As the team to beat. It seems like right now they've distanced themselves from the Astros, it feels like a little bit, and Texas as well, winning that series over the weekend. Yeah, they got blown. It was 8-1 yesterday there, but Texas, I got it finally. But they beat them the first 2 games, allowing just 1 run in each of those games. The pitching's been good for the Mariners of late, although they're allowing 4.2 runs per game. The offense, so Mariners 5.1 runs per game. That's great when you're a Mariners team, right? That if anything, throughout all these years here where they've had competitive teams, sometimes it has been the offense that's been the letdown. But right now, this offense continues to move up. I've got them in the top 5 right now in Major League Baseball. I don't know if you guys see it the way I do, but right now with Raleigh definitely producing. How about Polanco and the job that he's doing here right now. Yesterday, he knocked in that run, but you look at for the most part, Polanco, man, he was tearing up there. Remember, he had the 2 home run game against the Angels and also against Miami. He's had some uh, big numbers. Yeah, they got to give him an off day sometimes against those lefties. But let's take a look here real quick and see how you see this one with two decent starting pitchers. It feels like here right now, and the way these two teams are going, man. Seattle's won 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams overall. This season, they met at the beginning of the year. The A's actually won that, or no, it was they split the opening series of the season. I think it was the opening series anyway, at Seattle. The A's won a couple of games in that one, although the A's have struggled against this team when they were in Oakland. They had lost 11 of the last 14 at home, but we're in Sacramento tonight. Are we going to get back to the runs here in Sacramento, especially with the way that this offense is performing right now? For Seattle, look, the A's can mash, but I still think they're not even a top 20 offense here. Just not enough overall cohesiveness in this lineup. But certainly, you got to give a lot of credit to a lot of these guys, like Soderstrom here. Maybe he's tailing off a little bit. There, it feels like he did miss yesterday's game. I think it was his rest day, but man, he's still hitting 277, 340, and 523 on the slash with those 9 home runs so far. And man, we're starting to see him play a little. We're starting to see him in the outfield as well as first base to try to keep this lineup together. And with Butler and Rooker, they're really performing well. Let's go to the chat here in this one and see how you guys have it. Seattle, this offense has helped them produce a lot of overs here of late. 8 of their last 10 games have gone over. They're 10-5 to the over on the road. The A's in that ballpark, 9-6 to the over at home so far. Although the A's have gone under in 4 of their last 5, should be noted that those were road games, including games at Texas. Seattle played at Texas too. You can get a lot of unders there so far, right? And still, these two teams are over trending, it feels like right now. Seattle has gone over in 6 of their last 8 on the road. Seattle's also won not only the loss last game, but still had a 6-game winning streak, remember, before that. Let's go to the chat here on the final game of the day, and thank you for joining me on the Morning Steam Show. A's an under for Jerry. He says they haven't won at home when they've returned home so far. Here's Mariners run line. Spoon says that all the money's on Seattle, and that makes me want to go to the A's a little bit. Will's on the A's here in this one. Still, A's are over 500, man. They've done a nice job. Seattle, though, does feel like they're starting to move into the, highly. I don't want to call them elite just yet, but look, every Monday I might do this. Kind of the where do we stand, who's going to the postseason kind of thing is what if the playoffs started today, are the A's in? Yes, they are. If the playoffs started today, they don't. New York, Texas, and Seattle would be the division winners, and the wild cards would be the Guardians, the A's, and the Royals. In the National League, Cubs, Dodgers, and Mets are leading the division currently, and the wild card spots are the Padres, the Giants, and the Phillies. Right, chat here. Let's see. Jerry says Miller, though, struggles on the road. Jerry took the under there. Spoon says go with the A's. He says a Rose Arena could be questionable here. Spoon says you do have the wind whipping up here a little bit. I'm showing left to right, 13 to 17 miles an hour. Mild temperatures, though, certainly. In the high 60s here tonight in West Sacramento. And let's see here. Miller not going to go 5 innings on the road. Severino at home so far. Team total allowed big runs. Cash Cane, thank you. And Textiles. Nice to have them here today in this one. All right. That might do it for you guys here. It's time to make my call in this one. I'm going to go against my man Spoons a little bit. And I'm going to go over in this one between the A's and the Mariners. That's going to do it for the Morning Steam show here today. Thank you, Sancho. Nice to have you as well. Let's go to the drawing and see what we got. Today, I think we got enough plays here. I don't know if anybody's going to type them in. You'll just have to take my word for it. I don't know if I have anything else, for you just yet. I'm on this card, pretty light card today, so that probably is going to do it. And let me get my commercial in here. If you want to get more, hey, I just hopefully gave you a bunch of winners. But if you want to get more plays from me today, more suggestions in not only the major sports, but other sports as well, the peripherals, if you will. My tennis sometimes, although premium, tennis starting to heat up here a little bit. If I'm hot, it's premium. If I'm not, it's a free. So that's how I kind of work things. I move as I'm stronger, as I'm feeling better in certain sports, I move those to my higher, stronger plays. That's just simple. That's the way I do it. I track all my wins and losses here, and you can follow me over at winnable.com. Click that QR code there in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, or anytime you see it on the screen with me. And that'll take you right to my winnable page. And you can subscribe to my picks over there, my sports money premiums over there. And that's how you get them here. Oh, let me, went a little fast here for the parlay contest. Let me bring it up and then I'll continue here a little bit. Bring up the contest here today. We got 30 people commented today. So thank you. Give you another chance here. And so when you go over, now I've really done it because now I've really put myself into where I can't do the, I was going to take you over to winnable.com and show you how this goes down, but now I'm too small, but that's okay. I'll kind of show it here. Maybe you're what? Does anybody watch me on a big TV? I hope not. All right. Anyways, you go over to winnable.com/Ramon. You'll see me up there. I'm going to just do the contest. But really appreciate it. If you subscribe to the plays over there, it keeps me coming back here on the show. And you get some plays here with me every day over there. Send them right to your phone. You can put the notifications on as well. Get more picks from me. Look, just to help you along, right? We're all looking for some advice sometimes here. And even I do. One thing I always say, I say it to my buddies when we're talking, right? Yes, I love handicapping. I love looking at all these numbers. And I always try to stick with my plays. But one thing I do, and look, I'm not Billy Walters, but remember what Billy Walters said on his famous 60 Minutes interview, and he's reiterated it many times. He likes to handicap the handicappers. And that doesn't sound like a bad strategy at all. That's kind of the old money, tracking the money and the tickets too. All right, let's do the drawing here right now and see who gets the opportunity to win a little cash. Gary, Tex, Irish King, Sancho, Subhuman, Luis, Nasty Nate, Truth Teller, Trevor, Joe T, and Damon, and Will Johnson. Will Johnson, you deserve it. And man, I see Will's picture all big. Look how handsome Will looks right there, hanging out in his ride. And good to have Will with some great comments there every day. Really appreciate it. from Will and his contributions. Don't really get a chance to single him out for the nice job he does with us in the chat. So thank you, Will, every day for coming in here. And right, we have Billy Walters and we got Willie Walters. We got Willie Johnson right here, our man. Thank you, you guys, and appreciate you joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. I really appreciate it, you guys. You don't even know. If for some reason they take YouTube off like a TikTok, I'd probably be doomed. Maybe I will be a TikTok handicapper. That's what they. Oh man, let me get the right screen up here and end the show. All right, that's going to do it here for us. Cinco de Mayo. Maybe I'll just go to Taco Bell. Probably should go to the sombreros across the street. That would be more appropriate. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific here with more Morning Steam. Don't forget, Mikey Money brings you pre-gaming at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific. Mikey's going to get you ready for the primetime action tonight with his picks here and handicap today. So make sure you join Mikey Money as well. It's going to do it. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much today. And thank you again for your support of me here on the channel. Like I said, this is user supported. I teased Mike the other day. I said the pay isn't very good around here on the Sports Money Network. So please, I am very appreciative of this opportunity with Mikey and Jeff to be on the Sports Money Network, and I'm not going anywhere. They coined the phrase sports money, and I'm all about it. So you are a part of it too. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Cash, then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to the